This review has been brought to you in part by Main Irish Airsoft and ASG. Hi, welcome back, Oddies Airsoft, and we're just going to have a little chat with Paul here. Paul has got a workaround. We've been reviewing the MP40, now both the SRC and the ASG version. Both of them have mid caps, and the high cap that comes with the SRC is flawed completely. In fact, it's really bugger all use to anyone. But Paul here, he has the ASG MP40, and he has a workaround to make a high cap mag. So I'm going to let him explain what he did and how he got to his high cap mag. But this one really works, so it's a good idea. Over to you, Paul. I'm going to get behind the camera.
The magazine is basically the standard magazine from the MP40. What I've done to convert it is you take the complete innards out of the MP40 magazine, and I insert a Uzi winding mechanism, and I use the Uzi bottom as well. What this does is this gives me the ability to put in over 350 BBs into a standard magazine. So rather than having 50 shots, you've now got 350. The Uzi magazine mechanism comes about halfway up this, and then what we have to do is extend the PB feeder to the gun with the innards of I used a Bic Biro, which was very handy. It feeds it quite well. The top stays exactly the same, so there's no issues with fitting it. The only thing that a lot of people, or some people may not like, is you have to drill a small hole in the front to feed the BBs in, because with the high cap there's no other way to put them in. So you put a small hole in the front. I put a bit of white tape on this. I probably should have used a bit of black tape, but if you drill the hole high enough up, when you slot it into the receiver on the gun, there's no issue with BBs falling out. They can't be seen. It works well for me. I'm very happy with it.
So let's just recap. Here is the standard MP40 mag that you got with the gun.
Yeah. You
took the insides out.
Yeah.
You kept the top and lost the bottom.
Lost the bottom, yeah.
So we've lost the bottom, and we've now put in place an Uzi mag, the insides of an Uzi mag. And then you have a Bic Biro giving you the feed up to the loading nozzle up here.
Yeah.
And then, as you say, you drill a hole round to the front so that you can load it with a speed loader.
Yep.
And that'll take how many BBs?
350.
And any sort of issues with feeding?
No issues. You just have to make sure that you wind it a lot.
It takes a lot of winding.
It takes a lot of winding. It does feed at a couple of inches more. You will lose about 30 BBs that won't come out of it, but like that's not an issue.
Look, thanks a lot, Paul. That is a brilliant workaround to a big problem that a lot of MP40 users are having. And by the way, as you probably guessed, Paul is one of our many World War II airsoft players.
Veterans.
Veterans, yeah. You old git. Yeah. Now, since the filming of this video, Paul, who owns this SRC MP40, has found a doable workaround to his mag problem. As you've already seen in the first video of this, the mags don't fit very well into the mag well, and they move and rock and don't feed very well. So what Paul discovered is if he put two Velcro pads, he's actually moved over to felt pads on either side of the mag. When it slots in nice and tight with no movement at all, and then he has no feed issues. It's not an ideal workaround, but it certainly is a workaround to get this particular gun working. And let's face it, as I've already stated, this SRC gun is without a doubt the nicest looking MP40 on the market. It is also the most expensive. And as such a high-end gun, I mean, it rates as high as all the G&G high-ends. It shouldn't have these basic problems, but it does. So we have to kind of work ahead and try and find fixes, which is so typical in airsoft anyway. But as I said, by fitting two felt pads either side of the mag, he now has mags that feed perfectly. So I hope this has been of some help for any potential SRC MP40 users, and you know, if you have any ideas or any workarounds that you have found have solved these problems, can you post them and let us know, because they all help. Thanks again. Now this is the Irma MP40 by ASG being chronoed, and it's been chronoed in Main Irish Airsoft's Bat Cave on a scan chrono, which has also been certified. So if ever there was a chrono ever going to tell a story, this is it. And above it we have my X-score check, and we'll be able to give a reading of what we're getting as rounds per second. So So as you can see, it's running anywhere between 94 and 98 and very consistent. And now we're going to do a quick burst test.
Empty.
There you go, 16.39 rounds per second, which for that kind of gun of that era would be about right, you know. It's not exactly a high-speed M4, but you can't kind of pitch it as one either. So there you go, that's the chrono test for the ASG Irma MP40 or Schmeiser, and we'll talk to you soon. So this is the MP40, the Irma MP40 by ASG. Have to say, has a very unique hop-up system in it, in as much there's a small little switch that you pull backwards and forwards, makes it really easy to work, and the hop is very responsive. This is a CQB weapon, so it's, and I use the word weapon lightly, it's not really a weapon, it's a toy, but this is a CQB gun, and you know, the range should never be that fantastic with them anyway, because it's a CQB gun. Feed on the mag is very good, but then again it's a mid-cap, so it should be. So just give you a quick rundown. Now it's an 8.4 battery, which means that it's never going to sort of rock too fast. You know, you could put in a LiPo, a small LiPo in there if you wanted to, a 7.4 LiPo, but you know, a 9.6 will not fit inside, so it has to be an 8.4 or a LiPo. I probably would go with the LiPo myself, that's just personal choice, because it's the same size as an 8.4mm nickel metal hydride, and all in all, it doesn't look as Gucci as the SRC, but functionally I think it's probably a little bit better, although it's minus the blowback. Out of the two, I still would opt for the SRC purely because I love the look of it, but do you know what, for a starting off Schmeiser MP40, I couldn't say fairer than that.